Hey, baby. Let's make some sweet potato pie.
Hell yeah!
Now, to make a proper sweet potato pie, you obviously need sweet potatoes. Now, you can see the steam coming off this because these are partially cooked in the microwave. Now, I suggest cooking them in the oven if you can. I don't really have the time to do that today. You can see how hard it is for me to poke this fork in here because these are not done yet. But I usually stick them in the microwave for about 25 minutes until I can get that fork in and wiggle it around nicely. So we're going to go ahead and cook these, and they will end up peeled and looking like that for our sweet potato pie. So how you tell whether your sweet potatoes are done is you want little to no resistance when you poke it with a fork. I think the majority of this is good to go. You can see how dirty the water gets from the sweet potatoes. So now we're going to try to peel them. Now, peeling a sweet potato is not really an exact science. It's actually kind of a pain in the butt, but if you have a nice fork and a knife and it's soft enough, then what I tend to do is put it in a bowl. And I usually cut it in half. I might even cut off the ends entirely because you're not going to need that. We're just looking for the fleshy bits. And then do a nice slit down the middle. And just kind of get in here. Start peeling away the skin. If you have some sweet potato left on the skin, that's fine. Not a big deal. It's almost like doing vegetable surgery. Maybe cut in there a little bit. You can get nice big chunks like that, which I'll then put in my mixing bowl here. Sometimes you're lucky enough the skin just falls off. Cut off any hard bits. I definitely need a better tripod. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Peel that off. Cut in the middle here. And just start pulling off big chunks. Making sure I don't get any skin. Because nobody wants skin in their sweet potato pie. And there may be a better method for doing this. If you guys have one, feel free to let me know it, but this is my janky way of doing it. So for this sweet potato pie, you want basically, I think the original recipe called for like 2 pounds of sweet potatoes. I don't weigh them out because no sweet potato is alike, nor do they weigh the same, and nor do I feel like going in and parceling out a little bit just to make it an exact science. So what I do instead, I just do 2 sweet potatoes, assuming they are about a pound a piece. Now I'm doubling this recipe because I'm making 2 pies, so I got 4 sweet potatoes, so 4 pounds. But if you were just doing 1 pie, and then just grab 2 sweet potatoes. Make it simple. It don't have to be that complicated. What are you gonna do? Have too much sweet potato flavor? Probably not. So I forgot to record putting in the half a cup of oil and half a cup of butter melted. And the oil is a coconut oil, but we're putting in a cup of honey now. Again, this is to make 2 pies. Next, we're going to put in a cup of milk. Now, if you're doing this gluten-free or paleo, you can use almond milk. I usually use almond milk, but I'm out of it right now because my dad used it. So we'll just use regular milk. Again, this is for 2 pies, so for 1 pie, you're going to use half a cup. I'll put the actual recipe for 1 pie in the description. So now we're going to put in a mix of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cardamom, and salt. I will put the exact measurements in the description. And the last thing I'm going to do, I have some homemade vanilla. I like these little honey jars for it. We need about, I guess for one, we need 1 teaspoon, but you can see some of the vanilla in there. We need 2 for the 2 pies, so I'm just going to put this whole thing in there. It looks about 2 teaspoons. So one thing I did forget to mention is I did use nutmeg in here as well, but I'll have that full recipe in the description for this pie. Now one thing I will note, you might have some small sweet potato chunks in this pie. If that bothers you, feel free to use an immersion blender once you get it to this point, just to cream it a little better. We don't really mind some chunks. You can even see some here. A little bit of, yeah, just little chunks. But it bakes really well, so I'm not that worried about it. Don't be grossed out by this, but I do like to taste the batter. Oh man, I'm telling you guys, best sweet potato recipe out there with honey instead of sugar, so it's safer for my dad to eat. So let me show you. These are the pie crusts I buy at Giant, and the reason that I buy these is, one, they're gluten-free, which we're not celiac, but we do try to avoid gluten where we can, just because it does upset my stomach a little bit, but it's not like a major factor. So I just buy these graham cracker crusts, which seem to work really well for sweet potato pies. And because we have 3 large adults in this household, the one pie would not suffice here. Take this little plastic covering off. So now I got my 2 pie crusts. So now that my mixture is ready, and you will have some extra. I usually save it as like a dessert dip with leftovers. But let's go ahead and the guts of this pie mixture. I like to fill it up too close to the top. It doesn't really boil over. And that's about how much extra you'll have. It's not a whole lot, but I mean, it's good. So you might as well lick the bowl. Am I right? So here we go. Here are our 2 beautiful sweet potato pies that I'm going to throw in the oven at 350 degrees. Now we are going to put these pies on the top rack, probably the second one down, and cook them for 55 to 60 minutes. Try not to spill them too much. And then let them sit and cool off. So our alarm just went off for the pies, and I still feel a little jiggly, but I think they are actually done. And that, my friends, is a delicious sweet potato pie. Perfect.